You're in this for fame. You take advantage of women. Get out of my sight.
Today, John Paul Jones makes a scene in paradise. Newlyweds Chris and Krystal break down their big day.
For the first time as husband and wife, Chris and Krystal Randone.
And we are getting you pumped for the new season of MTV's The Challenge War of the Worlds 2.
This place is crazy. It's gonna be a good season.
This is your reality check.
Let's go party.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. New day, new drama. I am Lyndsey Rodrigues, your host. Welcome to Reality Check. I am joined today by People's senior editor, Breanne L. Heldman, who's going to be telling us what we can expect from the new season of MTV's The Challenge. You actually went to Thailand, so you really have the inside scoop.
I really know.
Yeah, very excited to break that down with you. But first, we got to break down our top 5. At number 5, the Kardashians are keeping up with the cheesecake. While in Dayton, Ohio over the weekend, Kim Ye took North and Saint to dine at the local cheesecake factory, not one, but 2 nights in a row, because why not? The restaurant confirmed with People that the famous family shared the chain's fresh strawberry cheesecake. I'm drooling right now. Fans swarmed the restaurant to get a glimpse of the reality stars after news of their presence. Breanne, what do you think when you see celebrities at chain restaurants? Is it weird, or does it just affirm that they're just like us?
Well, they're not. This pair especially are not just like us.
Nothing
but
like
it does make me happy when they do go to a chain restaurant because it is something you're not expecting.
Yeah.
That said, I am from Cincinnati, Ohio, which is only 45 minutes south of Dayton, and I can assure everyone there are other restaurants other than the chain restaurants and Cheesecake Factory.
Right. Where would you have sent them to if you were giving them recommendations?
Well, at least go to Skyline Chili and taste the Cincinnati chili, which is sold in Dayton.
Okay, all right. I'm going to keep that one up here for the next time I visit. Well, I said the next time I've never been. For the first time I visit. Thanks for the tip. At number 4, it was an emotional night for Emily Simpson on Tuesday's Real Housewives of Orange County as she broke down in tears during a cast trip to Beverly Hills. Emily opened up to Gina about her marital problems, which were causing her to have anxiety attacks, and she confessed to feeling lost right now. The couple has been married for 10 years, but have been living apart as Shane studies for the bar. Now, Breanne, it was also suggested that, she's been keeping a lot of this secret from her friends. Do you think that if she told them sooner what was going on, that she could have alleviated some of the anxiety?
100%. Friends are there for exactly this reason. That's the most important part of being a good friend. And if she'd opened up to them, she would have felt more supported and perhaps a little less anxiety. Just keeping those secrets, they bottle up.
Exactly. A problem shared is a problem halved. And also the best thing about being, having friends is free therapy with cocktails.
Amen.
At number 3, here's a happy one. John Legend is not only a good Instagram husband, he is a damn good Instagram dad. While on a family trip to Thailand, the Songland judge showed off his adorable kids in a series of photos. His social media spree came just days after his wife, Chrissy Teigen, called him out for his lack of photography skills. Now, Breanne, I want to know from you, what is the tip to getting the perfect Instagram picture, but with kids? Because, they're looking in all different directions and they're squirmy. How do you do it?
Well, I am certainly not the expert, but when it comes to John and Chrissy, they have such ridiculously adorable kids that you really can't go wrong. And Chrissy just posted this morning this hilarious video of Luna dancing that I have maybe watched 20 times.
I mean, that's what the world needs right now. More of Luna and Miles. They are the cutest kids ever, and they're so lucky to have John and Chrissy as parents. So I don't care what angle you take the photo from, I just want to see more.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing, you guys. And number 2, this is a very sad one, unfortunately. Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary was involved in a fatal boat crash over the weekend that resulted in 2 fatalities. Kevin spoke with People, saying, "I was involved in a tragic collision with another watercraft that had no navigation lights on and then fled the scene." He went on to say that he is fully cooperating with law enforcement and their investigation, and Kevin's rep told TMZ that the reality star's wife, who was driving the boat at the time of the crash, was given a DUI test and passed. TMZ, however, is citing conflicting reports as the owner of the other vessel is reportedly accusing the O'Learys of fleeing the scene. So at this time, we just hope for a speedy resolution, and of course, our thoughts and prayers to the family members of the deceased. And at number 1, another sad one. The Challenger's Theo Campbell is opening up about a horrible accident that has left him blind in one eye. On Tuesday, he shared a photo of himself lying in a hospital bed with his right eye covered with the caption, "2 eye surgeries later after a really unfortunate accident, I've lost all vision in my right eye." Theo went on to share that his eye split in half as a result of a champagne cork. I know, I'm actually like, but given the circumstances, Theo is keeping a very positive attitude, and his girlfriend Kaz flew to Ibiza to be by his side. Breanne, can you tell us any more about this horrific accident?
I mean, it's really sad and disgusting, and but I can tell you that MTV doesn't yet know what this means for Theo's future as a challenger. Of course, he was the second place finisher last season, and he is competing this season.
But how is that gonna, I mean, I just like, you need both your eyes for some of those challenges because it's so much hand-eye coordination, and I mean, so like his future must be very uncertain right now.
Absolutely. But then again, Jordan is a 2-time challenge champ, and he's missing a hand.
So there you go. I mean, look, you can overcome anything, I guess. But I will say this, I've always been terrified of champagne bottles, and people told me I was irrational, and now I say, ha-ha, I was right. But also, Theo, we wish you a speedy recovery. All right, we are going to head to the break, but we're going to be talking all about MTV's Challenge 34. Can you believe it? 34 seasons. When we get back with this lovely lady, do not go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. I am still here with People's senior editor, Breanne L. Heldman. Let's get into the challenge.
Yes.
All right, you really had the inside scoop because, as we mentioned at the top of the show, you actually got to go to Thailand, and you were the first ever reporter to be allowed on the set. So
34 seasons, they have never had a reporter on set, and it was 6 days of absolutely unprecedented access. I got to wander around the house while people were having strategy conversations and conversations about who hooked up with whom the night before.
You got
I
the
won't
tea.
spill all of that.
Okay.
And I got to just sit there and watch from the control room while they were doing these challenges. It was an amazing sight to see.
yeah, and you're such a fan of the show. So was this a bit of a dream come true, not just professionally, but personally as well, I would imagine?
Admittedly, I didn't even know to dream it. So yes, 100%. I would argue it was more of a personal dream come true even than a professional one.
Yeah.
It was really something amazing.
Yeah, something you'll never forget. And I have to ask, I mean, as you said, 34 seasons, they've never allowed a reporter on the set before. So why change the rules now?
I think that the show has just started to really boom in popularity. Season 33, which was War of the Worlds, had the best ratings that they'd had in 7 years.
Wow.
So there really has been this boom and this increase in interest. And I think a lot of that comes from now there's $1 million prizes. I think that raises the stakes for sure.
Yep.
And you've got these people like Johnny Bananas and CT and Wes and Cara Maria who keep coming back and keep doing more of these. And so you get to see their storyline and their arc happen over many, many years. CT started 2003, the Real World Paris. I mean, we have known him for a very long time.
We've grown up with this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, also amazing is your courage, my friend, because you actually tested out one of the challenges. Let's have a look at you being catapulted into the water. Woo! That looks so fun, but also kind of scary. Can you tell us what it was like participating in this?
So it was hilarious when they said that I was going to get to test one of the challenges. They were describing it as being shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
So of course I'm picturing something like a circus.
Right.
So when I saw this contraption, which was the only thing that was really scary about it was very rickety, and it had just been put together. Literally only one human had done it before I had, and I had to watch them test it with a giant water jug, and the chair fell apart, and you can see a piece of the chair falls off behind me.
The seats in the water?
That is perfected by the time you will see the cast do this challenge in episode 2.
Well, I mean, look, thank you for safety testing it for the cast. They really owe you one.
You're welcome, guys.
Right? I mean, Challenge 34 looks really intense because obviously every season they have to up the ante. This is an incredible game of strategy and strength, and it really incorporates everything. So what can you tell us about this season, and is there anyone that we can expect to maybe make a surprise appearance? Please say Turbo without a shirt.
100% you're getting Turbo, and surely he will take off his shirt, as will pretty much everyone else. This season has a couple of pairings that are really interesting. You've got Tori and Jordan, who we've already learned are going to get engaged at some point during this season, which warms my heart. But also, Jordan's longtime ex, Laurel, is there.
Drama.
Well, actually, it is not drama. They are a love fest. Laurel and Tori really like each other. Jordan and Laurel have stayed good friends. So that will be a nice surprise.
Okay.
But then on the other side of that, when you have Laurel, you always have drama.
Okay.
And Laurel and Cara Maria are sworn Enemies. And this is going to get juicy. And there was some very clear tension from the minute I stepped on set. You can see it when I spoke to them. They are definitely, they have not buried the hatchet.
They're out for blood. I would not want to be on Cara Marie's bad side. I will say that.
You do not want to be on Laurel's bad side.
Okay, good to know. And also now the episodes are going to be an hour and a half long as well.
They are, so you're going to get all of that great action and all of the great drama, because this is a show that kind of has wavered. Sometimes some seasons have leaned more on the drama, some seasons have leaned more on the athletics, and now with 90 minutes, you're going to get all of it.
Everything. Oh, I am here for it. Okay, well, right now it is time to check in with our question of the day, because we wanted to know which returning challenge vet you were most excited to see. Now, this was a close one, but 37% of you said you were most excited to see Laurel return to the challenge, because I'm guessing, because she brings the drama. Who are you most excited to see come back?
Well, I love Tori and Jordan, but Laurel 100%.
Yeah.
She is amazing television and one of the fiercest competitors ever to be on the show.
And you already know who wins, right? So I can't ask you like who you predict. Okay, but all right, I'm not going to ask you because you already know, but I'm going to ask you off camera. Well, remember to check @People on Twitter every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern to see the reality check question of the day. We want to hear your voice, so make sure you cast those votes. And Breanne, I have to say a big thank you to you for coming in and giving us the inside scoop. And again, I commend your bravery. I could never do it. I'm such a wuss. So it's going to be a great season of The Challenge, and it premieres tonight on MTV at 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're watching. And make sure you tune in to Reality Check tomorrow, because guess who's coming to visit? Challenge vets Johnny Bananas and Nani breaking down the episode. How cool is that?
It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, well, don't go anywhere, guys, because after the break, we have Bachelor in Paradise lovebirds Chris and Krystal on the line to tell us all about that magical wedding and that not-so-magical showdown at their cocktail hour. Stay tuned.
Seeing you manipulate Tayshia makes me sick. Get out of my sight.
Welcome back to the show. Bachelor Nation fans, have I got a treat for you. Newlyweds Chris and Krystal are on the line. Hello.
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
Oh, you know, I'm just so happy for you. It's been incredible to be able to follow your love story. Obviously, we saw you meet in Paradise last season, and then last night, you got married. So, I mean, not last night, obviously, but on the episode last night, it was wonderful to watch. You guys both looked incredible. What a beautiful wedding. And seeing as you are newlyweds, I thought that I would challenge you to a very special couples edition of Cast on Blast. So here's how this game works. I'm going to name some current Bachelor in Paradise couples, and I want you to tell us what you really think of them and what the odds are of them making it to the altar the way that you guys did. So are you ready?
Ready.
Yes. Okay, let's do this. First up, cuties Dylan and Hannah.
I think that they're really cute together. I love Hannah. Dylan seems really sweet, but I am concerned that he may be too sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they have potential to end up in a position like us. I would say outside of how great they get along and the chemistry that they possess with one another, I would say probably the only thing that might draw a concern is he might be so into her rather than her being so into him. And I think maybe in order to have this kind of go the distance, I would say maybe if Dylan just kind of stepped back a little bit and maybe play a little hard to get, maybe not be so attached to give that little bit of that freedom going.
I mean, I don't know them personally, but I agree with you. He just seems so sort of consumed and obsessed with her. And, you know, as a lady, sometimes that can sort of make us, you know, not as interested, but I do want the best for them. So hopefully they figure it out and kind of level up a little bit. Now, what about your boy Clay and his new love, Nicole? What do you think about this coupling? And do you think that they'll be able to get through the fact that Angela is now joining them in Paradise?
It's a great question. I mean, definitely got to find out and watch more to see what comes to fruition with that. But I would say, knowing Clay like I do, commitment is a struggle, solely based on kind of his life growing up and things that he's seen in the household and stuff like that. And so I would say that when time does come, if they end up in that position for him to get down on one knee, I think he might feel comfortable not being forced to do so in such a short period of time. I feel like he is a guy that needs more time.
He really does. he really needs some more time just to feel comfortable making that decision, because I know he's been very vocal that he only wants to get engaged once to his wife and doesn't want to feel that pressure. And I think when he does feel pressured, it makes him step back. So I'm curious to see through the duration of Paradise if that'll be long enough for him. I feel like he might need more time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fair enough. And I will say this, just based on what I've seen so far, whoever ends up with Clay is a very lucky lady, because he just seems like such a gentle-hearted man. So wish him all the best of luck. And then,
I love him.
Yeah, what a good guy. And then what about Demi and Christian, the first ever same-sex couple on Batch Nation? What do you think of these two?
Yeah. We've really enjoyed seeing their relationship blossom, and we really admire Demi for being so open and vulnerable, and really wearing her heart on her sleeve and letting us in while she navigated through her own feelings, and for her to be brave enough. And as we saw when Christian came down to the beach, we just saw such this loving embrace that felt so authentic, and I'd say one of the most real relationships we've seen almost ever out of the franchise. And so we're really rooting for them.
Yeah.
We're really excited for them and here to support them all the way.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I know the way that Demi's face lit up when she saw Christian there. I mean, it doesn't get more real than that. Let's say that. So best of luck to them. And then what about Chris and Katie? Because, I mean, they were rocky for a hot second. Katie was worried that she'd push Chris away and that maybe he would choose Jen. But ultimately, they've remained together as the season stands right now. So what do you think the future holds for these two?
I think, one word kind of describes this relationship, instability. I think the common up and downs, that it's like a seesaw, one up, one down, and vice versa. I think they can't really hit on that equal balance. And I think that's going to be a real struggle point for them to not only get out of Paradise together, but to sustain that type of a relationship in the real world, especially once you kind of depart from one another and go your separate ways to your back home. So instability, and if they can't get that relationship stabilized and really get on the same playing field and equal balance, I don't know if that's a relationship that we might see last.
And I want to say that I know when you're on the show, you're really focused on one goal, and that's like getting engaged. And when you come out of it, sometimes you realize that you're just different people because life happens and your schedules are not compatible. And so I want to say for all the couples who are engaged or those who even aren't engaged, know that as you step out, whatever you follow, like with your heart, wherever your heart leads you, is okay. And you shouldn't feel like you need to conform to expectations of what you think people want to see from you, because it's when you're living in your truth and owning it, then you get to blossom and love happens around you.
Absolutely.
So.
That's great advice. And yeah, I mean, to your point, it's very easy to feel like you're in love when you're on an island without a job to go to, or, just everyday minutia. And then you get into the real world and you're like, oh, I got to go grocery shopping, and who's going to, take out the trash, and just like real life hits. And obviously you guys have made it work, and other couples have, but other couples not so lucky. So we'll have to see what happens with Chris and Katie. What do you think about Connor and Caelynn? I mean, they obviously shared a kiss the night after Caelynn was left brokenhearted by Dean. What do you think the future could potentially hold for these two?
Well, I was really happy to see Caelynn just beam at the wedding when Connor walked in, because my heart was really feeling for her. I know she was really heartbroken over Dean. Yeah. It's kind of one of those things where she had such a connection with Dean that I don't know if she'll be able to get over that, because there was just so much compatibility and chemistry between them. So I'm curious to see if Connor will hold up to that relationship she was just in.
Yeah. Well, I will say this.
Broken hearted or not, the feelings just don't, turn off, as Clay would say.
They don't just go away. But Connor has a really cute dog, Oliver, so I don't know, I'm kind of here for that. But to your point, what about Caelynn and Dean? Because we have seen in a teaser that he does come back to Paradise after leaving it, sans mustache, thank God. So what do you think about these two if they were to get back together?
I think they bring on a really fun, playful side of each other, and I think it allows Caelynn to feel safe. I think she really feels safe in this relationship with Dean, and that allows her to really open up. And I know that that's something that, as every woman, my relationship with Chris, that's something that allows me to be soft and feminine, which brings out my best side. So I think we're seeing that in Caelynn. As far as Dean goes, share?
No, I agree with you on those points. Sure. Yeah, they seem to have great chemistry, and they seem to have a good common ground with one another and kind of understand each other. And so I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah, you and me both. Now, I really am interested to get your take on this. The friendship roses that keep being exchanged between Blake and Christina. I mean, first of all, what is that about? I really don't think that friendship roses should be allowed because, as you said, the whole point is you want to leave with a partner, either a fiance, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. So, like, what do you think of these two? Are they giving out true friendship roses, or is there something deeper going on?
I mean, I can understand, early on if you wanted to hand out a friendship rose. I mean, that completely makes sense, especially in the first week. And you are wanting for you and your friends to just give it another shot to find love elsewhere or maybe with each other. However, though, as you get deep into it, I think it kind of takes away from other people.
Takes away the meaning of the rose.
It takes away the meaning of the rose, and it takes away just those who are there trying real hard. And to know that that rose kind of gets canceled out, it just limits the opportunities for those others to find an opportunity to find love.
Yeah, I think we saw that exactly with Blake and Canadian Caitlin. They were really hitting it up. I really appreciated Caitlin for really not holding any judgment against Blake after he'd had such a wild, rough ride. And she was just here and just like, look, we all go through it. I'm not here to judge you for it. Like, let's explore this relationship. I really want to get to know you. And they hit it off. And then he promises her he's giving her his rose. And then Christina walks up and just says, hey, I'm asking for a favor. I want to meet guys next week. Can you give me yours? And I was really sad to see that Blake didn't take the chance for him to have a second chance at love and find someone, and instead just give it to Christina. So I hope, honestly, moving forward, that with Bachelor in Paradise, friendship roses are not allowed, because it's not about getting airtime and hanging out. It's about real relationships connecting, and if you're not connecting, you need to go.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I agree with you. And I also want to ask you this, because you both were somewhat portrayed as the villains of your season. So do you have any advice for people like Blake, Dean, Christina, who maybe haven't been portrayed in the best light, or who haven't been sort of the most beloved on Paradise?
I think it's important to know, just love yourself, know that people aren't going to like you, know that people will have opinions about you, and don't let those opinions affect your happiness. And another thing is that obviously we have made mistakes on our respective seasons, and there have been others who have made mistakes. I think it's most important to just own up, take ownership of those mistakes, and use them as fuel for building blocks to evolve and grow into a higher level, a better version of yourself.
I like that.
I would say that, your past doesn't have to define you unless you allow yourself to stay down. You can use it as, my amazing husband said, as an opportunity to grow and look within yourself and see, why did this side of me come out? Like, where's the pain, where's the wound here that I need to address and heal? And how you heal that is just looking inward and loving yourself before you can love other people. So get off social media, take some time to yourself to dive in. My best advice, journal it out.
Yes, writing is so therapeutic. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Pen to paper, get it out of your head, and live with your heart. And things happen, but they don't have to define you. You can grow.
Definitely. And remember, a mistake is only a mistake if you repeat it. So I think that's something to remember as well. Now, let's also talk about Derek and Tayshia, because that's been a hot topic that sort of boiled over at your wedding, unfortunately. What do you think about this pairing?
I mean, not too much has kind of evolved from this yet, but I will say that Derek and Tayshia have a lot of similar interests and a great common ground to build off of, because they kind of know both of what they want in a partner. And I think the level of maturity that Derek is possessing kind of matches the level of maturity that Tayshia's looking for. And so it's interesting to kind of see them finally connect and see that Derek's now, aside into kind of away from Demi now. It allows him to maybe see if this is the match that actually can pan out for him in Paradise.
Yeah, I really actually like them together, because I think, as Chris said, they possess high emotional intelligence and seem like a really good pairing. But the answer is, what does Tayshia want? Is she here for a summer fling, or is she here for the real thing? Because there's two men who are completely opposite, and the only person that can answer that is her.
Right.
So we'll have to see.
We want to know, is she there for a fling or for a ring? And then this might be a bit of a contentious one. John Paul Jones and Tayshia, what do you think of that? And also, has he apologized for causing such a scene at your wedding?
He has not yet apologized. We're not expecting anything. We'll see what happens, but as people who have lived passionately and who have had moments that weren't our brightest and best, we can understand that things will happen, but use them as opportunities to grow. And we're not expecting an apology, but we just hope that, John would not act this way at all, especially as a guest at someone's wedding, because I'm going to say I was really hurt to walk out right after the ceremony and hear how he had attacked Eric and he had caused such this ripple of negativity throughout our wedding. And it's really unfair because we're not there for him. We were there to celebrate our marriage and our love and our commitment to one another. Yeah. And so I just had to burn extra sage to just get that out.
Right. Chris, what was your take, first of all, on the scene at the wedding and JPJ and Tayshia? Are they a match? Are they not? Are you expecting an apology?
Some might say they're a match. For me, it's hard for me to kind of throw my opinion on if they're right for each other because I don't really know the relationship all too well, and I don't know what's to come of the relationship. Clearly, his actions, as much as I want to dismiss them, they were completely unacceptable. I think that's pretty standard for any wedding, regardless of the platform or regardless if it's a TV wedding or not. It's really distasteful to see that, and it's very unfortunate. And we know we've all made mistakes, but with this, it seemed a little bit out of left field to have this kind of confrontation because it didn't make sense. And so it just seemed selfish and highly disappointed because it seemed like he had a great sense of humor and a great guy previously on earlier episodes. So for me, I don't have any expectations of hearing him apologize to my wife, not to me. But also, I will say that it didn't ruin my time. I had a beautiful wedding. I had a beautiful time after that. And, it's like I said before, you can't let someone dictate your happiness. So that I've learned that a long time ago, and I continue to move forward through that wedding.
And at the end of the day, you married your best friend, and it was amazing to watch. So thank you very much, not only for participating in this game, but for allowing us to share your wedding with you. I can't congratulate you enough on your nuptials, and I wish you a long and happy life together.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Great chatting with you.
It was great chatting with you guys. Go have fun.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. It is time for our last break of the day, but when we come back, we've got another great moment from reality history, and this one is a little bit confusing. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Breanne Heldman has popped back in to help me say goodbye because that is it for the end of the show today. But thank you so much for being here today, Breanne, and breaking down MTV's The Challenge with us. Also would like to say a big thank you to Newlyweds Chris and Krystal Randone for joining me today to give us a scoop on their wedding. Make sure you're following @People on Twitter to watch the newest Reality Check episode streaming Monday through Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Breanne and I are going to leave you with a really classic moment in reality TV history. It's a good one, bit of a head scratcher, you might say. I am Lyndsey Rodrigues, and I'll check you tomorrow. Bye.
Is this chicken what I have, or is this fish?
In this 2003 episode of Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica, 23-year-old Jessica Simpson famously revealed she wasn't quite sure if her tuna salad was fish or fowl.
I know it's tuna, but it says chicken by the sea.
Chicken of the Sea is the brand.
Oh.
Sadly, just 2 years later, both the show and the marriage were cancelled.
What?
But Jessica's hilarious brain freeze remains one of the greatest moments in reality history.
I understand that. I read it wrong.